Ricardo, you are rolling.
All right, class. So my topic is on adapting the learning environment for students with special needs. Okay, so for the outline, we're going to start with a successful adaptive learning environment. They're going to see those principles and then go on to how those are beneficial to a successful learning environment for students with special needs. Then from there, we're going to tackle three sports, starting with basketball, then move on to soccer, and then finally volleyball. After that, we're going to go into how those principles are going to be challenging, and then we're going to see how we can find ways to assess in providing that successful environment for students. And then finally, the conclusion. So in this image here, it's a good example of what that successful adaptive learning environment looks like. So as you can see, right off the bat, there's a sufficient amount of space. So you don't want too much space, you don't want little space, you want a sufficient amount. And then we have minimal distractions, which is really huge when it comes to students with special needs, because they tend to be more, or get more distracted than the average student. So you need to watch out for anything that's going to be in the way, visually, and also red noises, loud music, loud noises. And then of course, as we all know, we want to be able to adapt and modify the equipment and the rules. You can see there, we have a variety of balls, different sizes, and textures for them. And you also want to have positive energy. Both, adaptive or regular PE, you want to, have that positive energy, be upbeat. And then we're going to go into the benefits. And, safe environment. Going back to that previous image, we saw that there was sufficient amount of space, and we modified the equipment and the rules. All that is going to create a safe environment for the student. And it says allow students to better focus on learning skills. Yes, it does, because by modifying the equipment, you make it easier for them and give them more higher success rate when you do so, and a high level of motivation more when you're upbeat and energetic. So those are the benefits of that. All right, so we're going to go on to basketball here, and we're going to, there's a setting, a basketball court, as you can see from the principles. There's a lot of space in there, which is a good start. But of course, we got to have a basketball. You can use a regular size basketball, but maybe you also want to have smaller balls. It could be a smaller ball, or probably a bouncy playground ball. And you definitely don't want to probably use regular baskets that you see up there. You probably want to use a lower basket. So you can provide one of those there, smaller ball, smaller basket. And you probably don't want to use the whole court. You probably want to get smaller, so you want to set boundaries. Of course, you want to modify the rules. So, you probably want to make them shoot from a high spot. Maybe do some video games, add more play spots, how to play basketball golf. What? Of course. Yeah. How to set goals, because in this, when dealing with special needs, you probably don't want to be too competitive. You probably want to make them focus more on setting goals. And of course, you don't want to give too much information. You want to keep it short and sweet. In basketball, we need speed. Alright, so then we go on to soccer, same thing here. We have a lot of space from the principles, sometimes sufficient space. And you want to use a big goalpost. You can also use smaller ones, but I think a big one is fine, because you want to have an easy target for them. It makes it easier for them. Of course, you got to start with a soccer ball, but of course, there's all the types of soccer balls. We have Nerf soccer balls that are better, or we can use weighted soccer balls. I don't know if you've heard of those, but that's easier on them. Yeah. Of course, you want to modify the rules as well. But I actually wanted to add some pins on there, give them a target, something to, kind of give them a set or goal. I'm talking about the previous slide, a goal setting. And you are outdoors, so you do want to consider the weather. As you can see in this setting, floor is really nice and smooth, it's all level, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty cloudy, so it's pretty good weather outside. Because of course, when you're dealing with outdoors, there's things or factors that are in the way. But we'll get more into that later when we get into the difficulties of that slide. Then finally, we have volleyball, and as you can see, the net. This one is adjustable. You can lower the net. You definitely do want to lower the net for students with special needs. But I also seen that you can also use a rope. That's also a good modification if the school you work for doesn't have the net there. And, modify the volleyball. Of course, volleyball is actually kind of a hard sport for a student with special needs to kind of make contact with the ball. So you probably want to use a beach ball. Or, I've seen it oftentimes people also use with the rim. And modifications, what are some things or ways that we can modify? I'm asking Erwin. What are some ways to modify, or something you can do to modify or make it easier for the students?
Well, like you said, use a balloon or beach ball.
Yeah, would you have them, maybe use more than one pass? Because, volleyball is like 3 passes, right, max?
Yeah.
You probably want to use more, have them, extra bounces. Makes it easier on them. That's something you do want to consider. You want to be able to, like, going back to the basketball one, maybe dribble more, double dribble, it's fine. You got to be a little lenient. As long as they have a high activity. That's all you want to care about. That the activity time is really high. So, you can play around with the rules, it's fine. All right, so now here we have this image, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. But, these are factors that are going to be challenging. Some factors are inedible, but some of them are, like, for example, one I'm going to start off with, one that you have to deal with when you're dealing with students with special needs. And that's the students lack sufficient hand and eye coordination. So some students may have symptoms or problems that are going to be maybe more severe than others. And that's something that you just have to kind of just be able to cope with. Some of them, may not have the sufficient hand and eye coordination. So you really have to have a lot of patience. And that's why I chose the PE route, because that's something I don't really have a lot of patience. But something else you need to see is probably the students' lack of interest. Once again, because of those specific special needs, some of them might react differently than others. Some of them, might even hit you depending on how they feel. So that's something you also need to be aware of. And the lack of access to modified equipment, maybe the school you work for doesn't have the sufficient equipment. So as you can see here, I guess they're playing soccer, but they're using the football. So that's something that that you need to consider. And you need to have a proper modified equipment, especially when you're working with kids with special needs. Yeah, you can see football not very safe. And then the floor, well, it probably has potholes in there. That's something else that's also you got to watch out for. You got to look out for those kind of things. That the floor is uneven, that there's potholes, any hazardous objects on the floor, and that's like I said, unsafe environment. And Renudo probably clocked in. He's probably mowing the lawn. That's gonna be pretty loud. So that's something else you need to consider too. Distractions, as we were kind of talking about in the previous slides. And what if you work by an airport? The plane passes by, it's pretty loud. So you got to consider those kind of things. The presence of external noises. And then the weather conditions. You can see the sun is probably 90 degrees out there in this setting. The kids are going to be probably very, be complaining about that. So you need to consider the weather conditions. If it's too cold, if it's too hot. So that's to say that you got to look into. Now we're going to ways to assess whether a safe environment in AP has been provided. So, as we all know, pre versus post test, it's no different from regular PE and adaptive PE. That's how you know whether you were successful. You got, do that. That's pretty good. And then also, as we said, high activity time. That's what we're really looking for. So that's a good way to assess whether that successful environment has been provided. And injuries. You don't want to get in trouble. That's actually one of the most important things when you modify equipment to the sufficient space that you don't have any injuries. And most importantly, you want the students to be happy, upbeat. So like I said, you got to be encouraging. And the student interest, if it's high, that's how you know that you had a successful environment in AP. All right, so we're going to get into the conclusion questions. All right, what do you need to do to have a successful learning environment for AP students? See those? Space. Yeah, sufficient space. What's another one? Alexis? There's a lot of them. There's no right or wrong answer.
Modifying the person equipment.
Yeah, that's good. Cameron?
Modify equipment.
Yeah. Noise. Yeah. Noises. Yep. And any other ones? Yeah.
Maybe that's.
What? Oh, Megan.
Oh, just visual distraction.
Yeah, visual distractions. I don't really have an image of there on the slide, but yeah, that could be like visual clutter, anything that's going to be like in the way. Yeah, that's a good one. How can you tell that you provided successful learning environment? Nicole? Yeah. Okay. Karen?
Pre and post test?
Yeah, pre and post test. Good one. And one more. Sweat.
Activity time?
Activity time. Yup, that's a big one. And that's it.
That was a strong one. Whoa.
Okay, Ricardo, here's your question. Now, I realize everybody in this class, there's nobody that I think is doing APE. You're all, the APE people are not required to take this class. So let's say you're teaching a regular physical education class, and all of a sudden they say that they're going to put an aide in there with 5 or 6 APE students. How are you going to supervise that? Let's say it's a basketball unit. How are you going to supervise that aide? Because you're going to have to do that in terms of working with these kids who essentially are maybe not as skilled or as quick as some of the other kids. They're put in your class.
Well, I mean, AP is, I was very general when I was talking about this topic because a lot of the special needs can be very, it's very specific. So depending on wherever they have, if they're if they have autism or whatever, I'll probably know, and I'll definitely be more one-on-one with that person, and using those principles of modifying the equipment, making it easier on them. But yeah, I definitely got more one-on-one, rather that from a K-12 standpoint, and yeah, just apply those principles.
No, you're gonna have aid. You're gonna bring an aid in with these. How are you gonna communicate with the aid in terms of what your purpose for the lessons are?
The aides, kind of like the helpers that are there.
Yeah, it's like an adult helper.
I'll just make sure that what I'm doing is correct and have them give me feedback and kind of swap around, because that's the best way to know whether you're doing it correctly and having people assess you on what you're doing, and yeah, just kind of go from there.
Okay, let's give them a big hand. Thank you, Ricardo.